it because I just had the thought. I was just watching his videos recently, and I just had the thought to ask, just come out and ask him. But maybe there's a solution around the corner, and if there is some type of financial solution in terms of being able to receive some money and them not being able to shut me down, really I just need a ballsy company that will handle the transactions, and from there, I could start rip-roaring again, and we can have a new and improved documentary on how the Jews are responsible for 9/11, and many other documentaries on very important subjects. What the Jews have done to African peoples, what the Jews did why did they get kicked out of Europe all the time? Let's have a documentary on what did the Jews do to European peoples.
What I want to have I want to have a documentary now. This is where me and you would disagree. This fucking David Duke guy, I don't know a lot about him, but what I have heard about him, now I've heard some good things come out of his mouth, but as far as who he is, I don't know a lot about him, but I just don't fucking like the guy. Now, as far as a documentary, I want to see a documentary on how we psychologically are paralyzed by Jews from the perspective of the religious aspect, where every religion has been shit out of the ass of these Jews that are being subscribed to the fact of the movies, how that plays a role, why it's so hard to get through the thick skulls. I mean, something that is going to take, it's going to be something that describes it in a sense like the passages that you were reading earlier in the broadcast,
Right, yeah, sure. And as far as Dr. Duke is concerned, I mean, I particularly don't have any feelings one way or the other. I really doesn't, it really doesn't matter to me. Like I said, if someone is, as long as they're essentially sending people in the right direction or in the general direction of the right direction, I don't particularly care. A lot of people preoccupy themselves with, my enemies in particular, preoccupy themselves with trying to trash other people that are speaking out against Jews. And Dr. Duke speaks out against Jews, so I particularly don't care one way or the other about his, this, that, or the other thing. But anyway, so I just wanted to clarify that. Do I dislike some of the things that he says or does? Sure, whatever, but that's just a given. With the documentary that you're talking about, absolutely. I think it's also necessary to have a, in that vein, actually, I had planned to have a documentary, which I wasn't able to do because the guy who was serving as the sound guy, who was going to serve as the sound guy, did really great sound work on a couple of my short videos. He pushed out, and he gave up. He said, well, the Jews, we can't defeat them. There's nothing we can do, blah, blah, blah. And he gave up. So, at this stage, I actually took the step the other day to acquire some software, and hopefully I can learn that. And this is going to have to be, I have to do the graphics, I have to do the sound, I have to do the voice narration, I have to do the fact checking, I have to do this and that, and whatever the case. And pretty much
they don't understand that. They don't understand that. They don't understand the kind of hard work. They don't understand not just the hard work it takes to do a video, the hard work that it takes to just get to a level where you can give someone something that is of significance other than a fucking Alex Jones video that you can just say, I agree. I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, World War Zero, the slow war, is and it essentially describing the war that they wage on us in terms of the psychological war, as well as the war that is waged through our food and what we inhale or what have you. This is, people think that there's going to be a time in which the martial law is going to be declared, and I'm all for preparation for martial law. Sure, why not? Be prepared. But what they're doing is they think that I should not be so vicious when I say harsh things like, these criminals need to be executed. Well, the war is already on. The war is already here. It's just very slow, and they use these, the silent weapons is what they're called, and using these silent weapons, people don't they don't feel any need to pick up a gun. I mean, why? What are you talking about? There's no war. I don't hear any bombs. I don't hear any bullets or anything. So, there's no bombs bursting in air. There's none of that stuff happening. But when the ball in the air and blah 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 blah, then I'm going to march out with my flag and I'm going to gun them all down. Yeah, right, whatever. No, I mean, that's serious. This is the same thing. Can be compared to. I've done the comparison before, as if somebody called you up and said, "Look, man, I just spotted some Russian commie that's down at our local city water supply, and he's got this little tiny vial. Okay, and I got my binoculars out, and I could actually read what was on that vial, and it's some type of vicious, evil."
Had some technical difficulties there, but you were talking about. I think you were saying something about War Zero.
Yeah, World War Zero, the slow war, which when a person says that these criminals need to be executed, that shouldn't be something to be shocked at, or to think that, wow, this person is really going off the deep end, or that's a little bit much. They are killing us. They are simply doing it slower, and they're doing it a lot more quiet than, for instance, the coverage that you get of the Iraq war. People are expecting that a lot of the conspiracy theorists and truthers and whatever you want to call them, that, there's going to be tanks that are going to roll down their street, and there's going to be a martial law situation, and it's at that point then the war is on. No, the war is on right now, and it's been on. Such a video as I have in mind would certainly include the footage of the children that have autism because of the mercury in the vaccines. We can compare this to the children that have been disfigured or deformed because of the radiation of the depleted uranium rounds over there in Iraq. See, over there it's war footage, and if you were an Iraqi, then you would sit there, and you can sympathize with the Iraqi that wants to pick up a gun and defend, his family and so on. But how come you're not picking up a gun to defend your family and your loved ones, your neighborhood, etc.? Because you don't understand what that's really what it is. You don't understand what war is. Because if you did, then you would be at least waging some type of war back upon them. But I have talked about waging psychological warfare against them, which is, making videos and radio interviews and so forth. But people are incapable of even waging that type of war because, once again, they don't understand that there is a war being waged against them and that they are the targets and victims of that war.
I don't think too many people